Hello and welcome to Learn, Do, Become Radio. I'm April Perry, and here at Learn, Do, Become, we help people who are drowning in the details of life to create simple systems so we can do what matters most. And today I'm excited to introduce you to our step-by-step home organizing party that we put together. I have been thinking about you and trying to think, how can I serve you? How can I help you to feel relief? And so today I want to share with you the vision for this party and walk through the 9 lessons that are going to be coming next. If you are feeling overwhelmed or you're just excited to get things more organized and more put together and you would love support doing that, we are here to help you. Okay, so let's just go ahead and talk about the vision. My vision is for each community member to feel calm and organized with a generally clean home, not perfect, that is an ideal environment for building a strong family, doing your most important work, and thriving in all areas. If I can help you to do that, if our team here can help you to feel that calm, to feel like the house is all put together, to feel like no matter what comes at you, you have the mental and physical capacity to handle it in the best way possible for you and your family, that would be our dream. So if you're excited about that and you're thinking, yes, how are we going to do this? How can I get started? We're going to walk you through that today. Now, I put together 9 steps that I'm going to review briefly in this podcast, but then we're going to go into greater depth on each one. And if you are already a member of our Steps to Everyday Productivity Mastery community, we have a Facebook group with more than 10,000 people, and we're going to provide even more support and coaching in that group. So if you've been thinking about joining Step Mastery and you've kind of been on the edge, now is such a good time to join. But if you're not interested in joining and you just want to take part in the podcast and the community and the free resources we have for you, you're in for a treat because we are putting a lot of effort into making this a great opportunity for all of us. Now, links, let me just give those to you briefly because listening to a podcast, I know you might be out walking or running, or you might be going down for a nap and listening to me while you fall asleep. But these are the links that you will want to know. Okay, first of all, show notes. This is episode 83. So if you go to learndobecome.com/episode 83, all the links and information will be there. If you want to make sure you sign up for this step-by-step home organizing party, it's learndobecome.com/party. Isn't that fun? You can tell it to all your friends because we don't want to party alone, right? And if you are thinking, I want to learn about the STEP program, we have a free training and a full program that you can participate in if you would like. And the free training is learndobecome.com/step. Now, before I share these 9 steps, these 9 lesson topics we're going to be covering, I want to explain how I actually came up with them, the story behind it. I've been spending a lot of time watching the news lately and looking at what's happening in the world, dealing with challenges that have been coming into our own family. And I thought, okay, what is it that I can offer the world to provide relief and comfort and help people get more organized and feel more calm? So first I went back in time and I started thinking about my growing up, my first years of parenthood, all the things that I wish I had known back then. And then I started thinking about the things I've been hearing from our community. What are the pain points? Those people who are drowning in piles or are feeling overwhelmed or are feeling discouraged or thinking, all there is to do is just watch TV right now because I'm so overwhelmed. So I just imagined, okay, what if I walked into the home of my past self or walked into the home of someone with a lot on their plate, feeling overwhelmed, feeling stressed with so much to get done, maybe feeling down because it feels like they're walking uphill, pulling a load of rocks with no end in sight. Can you relate? Do you get it? I thought, what would I do? What would be the step-by-step approach that I would take to offer that relief and that excitement and that support? And as I really thought about how I could serve you, these are the steps that I came up with, and I'm excited to share them now. And they're not necessarily what you would expect them to be. If I saw someone was having a step-by-step home organizing party, I would think, okay, we're going to start with the kitchen, then we're going to go move into the bedrooms, and we're going to go step-by-step through every cupboard and every closet and every room, okay? That's actually not what I specialize in. While I will show you how to do that, I'm going to step back and take a broader approach. I want you to know it's not just about how you're cleaning a specific drawer or a specific cupboard, although we do have resources on the site to help you with that. But I want you to see that this is about the big picture of your life. And with my experience and going through the pains and struggles I've gone through and working with hundreds of thousands of people from around the globe, I guarantee you, if you go through these steps the way I'm going to show you and outline them, you're going to get results. Now, this isn't the only way to do it. There are amazing people out there who can show you how to make your pantry look way better than mine, or how to really make your home just shine with the right boxes or the right tools or the right resources. And I love that there are people out there who specialize in that. That is not what you're going to get with me. But what I will show you is how we're going to dive into your mental health, taking care of yourself, putting together a plan and a system that will work with a Step Command Central. So whether you already have a Step Command Central or you want to build one in the future, by the time you complete these 9 steps, these 9 lessons, you're going to think, okay, I'm ready to go to the next level. All right, let's go ahead and talk about these 9 steps. Lesson number 1 is going to be create your ideal family routine. This is where we need to have some kind of a system, blocks for those basic needs, for solid work, for flexible activities where you'll do your organizing and your replenishing. And I want you to have some kind of a structure so that when you think about organizing the whole house, you don't feel like you're just throwing it on top of a pile of other to-dos. Now, our children have been home for a few days now. We are in the middle of the social isolation, putting all that together. And the first couple days, we did not have a good routine. And so I was trying to jump from child to child and different needs and trying to get work done and trying to get some exercise in and then figuring out who's hungry. And we were moving around like crazy people. And by the end of each of those days, Eric and I were on edge, the kids were on edge, and we were not doing well. So regardless of whether you have a family or children home or a lot of people in your house or not, having a routine that makes sense, an ideal family routine, is an absolute necessity. We actually sat down. I had a meeting with our 17-year-old daughter and had her help me first, sketched that out, sent it to Eric and said, hey, what do you think? Let me know by 4 o'clock if you like this or not. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to post it in the house. And then Grace went and actually drew out the schedule, made it look cute, and now we have it posted in our kitchen right in our main area. If you want to see a picture of it, it's actually on our Instagram account at Learn Do Become. You can go check it out there. But just having that routine in place has been amazing. Now, has it been absolutely perfect and followed to a T? No, because we had some huge unexpected things happen this morning. We've had different changes. I had some days where I was sick. There's just a lot going on. But having that routine has been huge. And so we're going to walk you through the principles behind it, give you your basic assignment, and help you get it done. There are so many good ideas out there, and your family is unique and your situation is unique. But we're going to help you get that ideal family routine up, get the family aware of it, get it posted, get it ready to go, and give yourself and your family a framework that's going to work for you. All right, lesson 2, put out the fires and take care of you. Now, at first, I just had this called Put Out the Fires, and I'll tell you why. But as we started building, we started getting some requests and some really good suggestions on how we can take care of ourselves in the process. And I was like, oh my gosh, we've got to put that up near the beginning because it should just be a given, but I know it's not. Because when you care deeply about your family, your community, all your loved ones, your work, it is very common to stop sleeping, stop eating well, stop taking care of yourself. And obviously we want to make that a priority. But the reason why I put out the fires early is because when you have some serious things going on that are overwhelming you, you can't really think bigger picture. It is so hard to just take time to do something like organize a closet if you feel like, my world is kind of coming to an end right now. So for example, I'll just share a few fires that we put out before I stepped into applying the rest of these lessons. So first of all, Eric and I were struggling with a few things. We're trying to raise teenagers together. We're trying to build a business together. We're in the home together a lot. And I have some personality quirks, and I think Eric has some personality quirks, and we were not on the same page. And we were both pretty frustrated with each other. Now, we're 100% committed to each other. We've been married 21 years, going on 22 years. We love each other deeply, but we don't always see eye to eye. And we're still learning how to really work together because new challenges come and new stresses come. So that was not a fire really, but it was something urgent. It was a high priority that I just thought before we move forward on anything else, I want to really feel good with my best friend. So we spent several hours talking, coming up with solutions, taking a break and going and getting rest, and then coming back and talking more together. That's been huge. So that was, one of those fires, one of those urgent things, but it was so worth it because now we're feeling so much better. We're on the same page. We're connected. We're still problem solving together, but the tone of our interactions has become so much more calm. And I just wanted to acknowledge that because I know a lot of times you just see people online and you think, oh, look at that happy couple who never has any problems. I think it's more wise to recognize, oh, look at that couple who's human like I am, like we are, who has challenges too, but they're committed to figuring it out and they work together to make it happen. I think that's a lot more empowering. So I'm happy to share things like that. Another one is we just needed some additional basic groceries. Things have been a little crazy around here, and I wanted to make sure that we just had what we need. And so what I did, our teenage son is learning how to drive. So we've been doing driving lessons at night and going to a variety of small stores or even some big stores kind of later at night when they're not super crowded. And then purchasing things that make sense. I'm trying to make sure I'm not, buying more than I really need or more than I should. I want to make sure I'm leaving enough for the other people who are coming. So we've been super careful about that. We've actually been talking with the store owners saying, hey, is it okay if we take a couple more cans of olives? Or could I take this oil? Or, and things like that, and kind of getting a sense for what's out there, what's needed. But just making sure that we had the food needs taken care of. That was huge. That was one of those fires that we need to put out. So those are just a couple examples of things that needed to be a higher priority. And once Eric and I were on the same page, we had our pantry stocked with what we needed, had groceries kind of set up, then I thought, okay, now I can breathe, I can sleep a little better, I'm not feeling stressed, and we can move forward from here. All right, lesson number 3, determine your highest value activities. I know that you have really specific goals. And maybe you haven't articulated them or written them down, but I know that you have things that you want personally, things you want for your family. I know perhaps there's something in the community or in your profession. Maybe you have some financial goals you're working towards. All of us have things that we want, whether we say them or write them or not. But when you can actually sit down and identify what are my main goals right now, then we need to actually write down what our highest value activities are that will help us reach those. Years ago, I had goals to build a business and goals with my marriage and family and my health, but I never really identified what the most important things were. So I would do things like, I'm going to write some blog posts, thinking like that was going to build my business. Well, blog posts alone actually don't build a business. There's other things that you would need to do that are higher value that will actually get a business growing. Or things in my marriage. I might think, I'm just going to be nice to Eric. Well, that's really maybe not specific enough. What could I do to make sure we have time together, that we can connect? Maybe how could I make sure I get enough rest so when I'm around Eric, I'm not on edge and super tired? So looking at your goals and then identifying the activities that you will actually do that will make a difference, it's huge. And we'll dive deeper into what that looks like and help you walk through that process. All right, lesson number 4, map out your home and life organizing plan. This is where we're going to use David Allen's natural planning model to create the purpose and principles, the outcome vision, the brainstorm, how to actually organize things and create next actions. This is where we're going to take the rooms in your house, the closets, the drawers, the areas of your life, your digital clutter, and we're going to prioritize them. Kind of brainstorm them, get them out on paper, or I'll show you how you can use some digital resources to do that as well. And we're going to make a plan, a map that's personalized for you. So if you're in a small apartment and maybe you have most of your clutter that's digital, we'll help you get that put together. If you have a large home or you have pets or even have people who run farms, we're going to show you how you can put together a step-by-step plan to get your home put together. So that's where the party planning is going to come into play specifically for you. And I'm getting so excited just as I'm thinking about it because we're already seeing people posting how they are doing this right now in their homes. For example, our team member Jill, who does our coaching in our STEP program, has been posting a project a day that she and her family are doing. Oh my gosh, they got their fridge and pantry organized. They have a little area with all their lockers. It looks so good. And they're taking time each day in the middle of the schooling and exercise and work and all the other stuff going on to move forward on some of these home projects. So they created a map and now they're doing it. And we're going to help you do that as well. Lesson number 5, implement the 3-box method. I'm going to take you back in time and show you the aha moments that I had when I first learned how to declutter. And we have a post already at learndobecome.com showing you what the 3-box method is. I love it so much. And if you don't want to do this method, that's fine. Like Marie Kondo does it a different way. And if you like her way, awesome. But this 3-box method is just what has worked for me time after time after time. It's really simple and that's what I use. So I'll show you how to do that. And you can apply the Marie Kondo principles. It's just another way to think about it. Okay, next lesson. Extract, establish, and execute your next actions. I don't care who you are. I think all of us can get better and better each day at identifying these next actions and actually making them happen. Anytime something is sitting on your list or you're procrastinating something, it's typically because you don't have the next action properly identified or written down, or there's some little thing that's stopping you. We're going to help you to get over that. In fact, in our last podcast where I talked about closet and life cleanup, I shared an example where we had the stack of frames with our wedding photos in them. And I don't want to hang those specific frames. I don't really have a place where they belong. The home that we live in right now doesn't have a ton of wall space where that would fit. So I thought, well, I want to get these frames out of my closet. They've been there for like 3 years. But first I needed to scan the pictures, but I wasn't quite sure how to do it. I think I needed a USB and I didn't know if I had one that had open space. It was all that stuff. Anyway, you can see pictures and learn more about that in that podcast if you want. That's episode 82. But just yesterday, I talked with our 16-year-old and said, hey, could you just help me scan these? And we found a USB, put them in, got them scanned, done. Oh my gosh, it feels so good. And those are just little things. That's one example of like wedding pictures. It's a bigger deal when it's something like, oh, we're launching a step-by-step home organizing party to hundreds of thousands of people. The next actions are going to feel a little bit different or be a little bit different, but the process is the same. So whether you're doing something to help your home become more organized or to prepare for emergencies, or whether you're strengthening a relationship or building a business, this skill of extracting, establishing, and executing next actions will serve you so well. So we'll dive deeper into that. Again, if you just type next actions into the search bar on our website, our homepage, you're going to find a lot of other great stuff as well. So if you're thinking, I can't wait until that lesson, it's okay. Just go to the website, use the search bar, and we'll take care of you there. All right, lesson number 7, master the art of essentialism. A lot of you have heard me talk about one of my favorite books of all time by Greg McKeown. I even listened to it today as I was falling asleep. I love listening to audiobooks, and he is actually a friend of ours. We knew him 20-some years ago when Eric and I were first married. And it's so fun to now see him writing and teaching. And the principle of essentialism is helping us recognize that we can't do everything. And there's a mental load that is placed upon you when you are trying to do too much. When you learn how to master this art of essentialism, it changes your life. And I've been learning more and more about that and applying it to my life and seeing the changes. So we're going to walk you through that. Lesson number 8, learn to successfully organize as a family. I think you probably noticed by this point that this is a theme in everything that I talk about. Family-centered productivity is really important to me. And I feel like this is where my voice perhaps can be helpful in the world. Because a lot of times when you're learning about productivity, it's from someone who is more corporate-minded, who is talking about very specific things that you do to lead a team or to have your assistant do this or how to work when you don't have children around. It is a whole different story to know how to organize and how to move a business forward or move a life forward when you have that family dynamic going on. And this is something that I was not good at, for starters, but I've become really good at doing it. And I've learned from some amazing people, especially in our community, who do this beautifully. What typically happens is when parents want to organize or want to work on something or have some kind of a goal, the children are watching TV or keeping busy on a device, or they're with a babysitter or something else, so the parent can focus. Now, I think there is a lot of value in having some quiet time when you don't have children around you. And I really do value those hours when I can take an April day, or I can have time to think at the library, or quiet mornings before the kids are up. But when you are trying to organize an entire home, especially involving children's bedrooms or main family areas, being able to work in tandem with your children is not only going to give you the opportunity to model for them how to do these things so they can do it on their own at some point, but it's where you're going to build relationships. This is one of those areas where I am most passionate about helping other people do the same. I had a college class called Work and Relationships in the Home that changed my life. And instead of looking at tasks as things just to check off a list and to do efficiently, I ask myself, how can I make this a relationship building activity? That has changed my life. So we're going to talk about the relationship side of it and the logistical side of it, because it's really hard to build relationships while you're yelling at your kids or making messes while you're trying to clean something. I get it. So we'll talk about strategies for all different ages. I started this when our first daughter was like a newborn, 6 months old, 1. We were working together. Now she's 20 and our youngest is 12. Now I mostly have teenagers. So we've kind of gone through all the different ages, and we'll talk to you about how to do that. Plus, we're going to be crowdsourcing, getting really good ideas from the community. So it's not just me. I'm just going to be kind of the mouthpiece and the director, but you're going to have access to the best wisdom from an amazing community. And then lesson number 9, you're going to keep the party going with a STEP Command Central. I'm going to show you some basics of processing, show you how a STEP Command Central changes your life. And if you're not interested in building one or you don't want to join our program, it's okay. We'll show you some basic stuff that you can apply right now, and that might be enough for you. But then at that point, if you're thinking, this is amazing, and how can I get every part of my brain totally organized, this may be when you'll want to come and join the STEP program. And I don't say this apologetically. I'm not worried about it. I used to be so afraid to talk about a program because I'm like, I don't want people to think I'm selling things. Or, you know what? We have a program at Learn, Do, Become, and it is called STEP, Steps to Everyday Productivity. And it is fantastic. And we have tens of thousands of people who are in it already. And I want you to join if you're excited about it, if we can serve you well. I think it's great, and it's only getting better. And our team is working on it. Holy cow, this is exciting. Okay, so I'll stop there. Okay, so those are the 9 steps. All right, I'm going to close up this podcast and get it ready to get out to you. Everything that I recorded prior to what I'm saying right now actually was recorded about a week ago. And the reason why it was delayed and why I haven't gotten the podcast out yet is because a couple of things happened last week. After I closed up the previous part of the recording, a few hours later, I found out my dad had passed away and joined my mom on the other side. And he was 87, almost 88, and he was in the last stages of brain cancer. We knew it was coming, and he was peaceful and passed away in our home, resting in his bed. Anyway, not my home, but his home. And my siblings all got to be with him, the ones who lived locally that evening. So it was, obviously not an easy thing to go through, but I was able to say goodbye to him a couple weeks ago, if you listened to the podcast last time, and took my children, had a chance to have a really good goodbye because we knew that it was coming. And so I also ended up dealing with some health challenges, and I was so excited about launching the party, and I've been talking about it in our Step Mastery Facebook group. And then I just had to go in and say, hey guys, I'm going to renegotiate a little bit. I'm a human too, and I need some time to just think about my dad and to recover from this illness that I'm having. And I'm excited about the party, but I need a little bit of time. And the community has been so amazing. Hundreds of comments coming in. We also shared some photos of my dad and my mom on Instagram. You can find that at the @LearnDoBecome account. You can go check that out. But oh my goodness, I've just so appreciated the outpouring and the phone calls from my friends and family. And we're not able to have a funeral right now because of the coronavirus that's happening right now. So my dad's in California, but we're not able to gather. So we're going to do that later. But my siblings are going to FaceTime me and my two other sisters who don't live locally when they do the graveside ceremony. So we'll get to have that soon. But yeah, it's been, a challenge. And not having energy, having my own just sickness I was going through. I feel like sometimes, you're just put in a situation where you're really humbled and you realize I don't have power by myself. Any power that I have, any energy that I have to serve is a gift from my higher power, is what I believe. And so while it has been a struggle, I've been thinking of you, and I've been thinking of each of our community members. And I just wanted to read a few things that they've been posting in either our main Facebook page or social media, just different places. And I've actually just screenshotted a few of them while I've been resting. And I want to read a few things that have been coming in so that you can hear the other voices and understand why this matters to me. This really is not a business to me. I think of it as my life's mission and my work. And we do have a program and a business, and that fuels it and keeps it going. But my purpose is to help you to feel that relief and joy. Because even in the middle of me going through losing my dad and feeling sick, and now we're homeschooling the kids, and we got our daughter in Ukraine, we've been talking with making sure she's doing okay. She's in quarantine as well. There's been so much going on. But our home is still clean and organized. Everything's still moving. Everything's getting done fine, and that's so huge because then I can handle it and I can take time to recover and our family can work together, and I want you to have that. So I'm just going to take a moment and read a few things that have been shared, and then I'll close up. This first comment is from Marcia, and she said, April, I am only about 10 days in, but the change in my mind is the most noticeable thing. I am free to have ideas, make plans, and even have my sense of humor return. I'm not sure my mind has ever been as clear to create and to encourage others as well. Oh my gosh, do you love that? I especially love the part about the sense of humor returning, because isn't it the truth that you don't even feel like laughing when you're so overwhelmed? Like I heard one time, a singing child is a happy child, because children who are really unhappy aren't out there singing. So whenever I'd hear my kids singing, I was like, all right, a singing child is a happy child. And I think it's a similar thing, a laughing adult, a singing adult, right? A happy adult. Let's have that. Stacy says, the investments that I have made into the Step Mastery program, both money and time, have already paid off such huge benefits in my life. Single best investment that I have made in years. Thanks. So sweet, so sweet. Then Stephanie shared her story and talked about how she and her husband are doing a garden and a garage revamp, and they're getting some structure. She said, the STEP program is giving me some stability with the kids being home as well. And then she just shared how excited she was about how her family's lives were changing. Oh, I love this so, so much. It means so, so much. And then one final one says, April, here I am again, thanking you again. I'm grateful to the administrators, my fellow students as well. This is in our Step Mastery Facebook group. Thank you for giving me space to express myself. And then she talked about how she'd upgraded from the self-study to mastery. That's been one of my best decisions since it brought me into contact with all of you. And she, when the time I screenshotted this, she'd already had like 112 likes and like all these comments. I mean, it's so amazing to watch what's happening in our communities, what's happening in people's homes and lives, seeing photos of people getting things put together, hearing about their relief, hearing about their sense of humor coming back. I love this so much, and it's been so rewarding as I've been laying in bed hoping to have energy. I'm sitting up right now. I have a little bit of energy today to do this, and then I'll go take a break. But I want you to be able to feel relief and to feel joy, and I hope that you will come join this party. Now, here's the thing, though. The party, we're going to be kind of flexible on it. I'm going to have to learn how to delegate better than I ever have before because I do not have the energy to do what I want to do. And I may get more energy, which I'm praying for, but I'm going to be working with our very competent team. And I feel like if my job is to create the vision and create the idea for the party, there are others who are so well qualified to make it happen. But we need you as well because we don't want to be having a party all by ourselves, though it would still be worth it. Okay, so again, the links you'll want. The show notes page will just have everything on it. So you can go to learndobecome.com/episode 83. And then if you want to come just sign up, make sure you don't miss out on any emails, go to learndobecome.com/party, and that's where you're going to sign up. And I am so excited. We've been working on this worksheet where you're going to get to fill in the little circles. There's nine circles. You're going to get to fill them in, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And just one thing I'll close with. Whenever you have a goal, you have an idea, you have a vision, rarely does that vision take place without effort. The things that really matter typically require the most effort. I'm sure you've seen that in your life with relationships, with your education, with your career, with your contribution. And you think of anyone you admire in the world, there's no way that they were able to do all the amazing things that they did without opposition. And one question that I have written down in my daily reminders note, inside Evernote, I have a little note, my daily reminders, and every single morning in my Streaks app, I have a little reminder to review that vision every single day. But one of the questions I wrote down in that vision is something that I felt from my higher power weeks ago that said, April, do you really want this? Is this really what you want? These goals, these things that you've written down. Is it something you're just talking about, an idea you've just considered, or is it something that you really, really want? And I want to pose that question to you. This idea of this clean, organized home, a life that feels calm, no piles of paper or clutter, a brain that feels at peace and clear. Is that something that you really want? Or is it just kind of an idea that you think it might be fun someday? A lot of times we would ask in our webinar, hey, are you interested in getting organized, or are you committed to getting organized? Where are you? And I want you to be able to think about that, because if you are truly committed, we're here to support you in that in whatever way works best for you. So stay close. Come visit the learndobecome.com/party to put in your name and email. Make sure we can include you. And thank you so much for your flexibility, your patience, your support, for sharing this with friends, all the things that you do to make this podcast possible and to make Learn, Do, Become possible. It's you. It's this community. We love you and send our best and hope that you're having an amazing week. And we'll see you soon at learndobecome.com.